Welcome to the Snakebite, your home for all things Florida Southern College athletics, where we bring you inside access into the world of moccasin athletics. Here are your hosts, Andrew Polling and George Donnelly.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Snakebite. I'm Andrew Polling, and here's what the Mocs have been up to. The women's basketball team picked up their 10th win of the season on Saturday, besting Palm Beach Atlantic by a final of 79-37. The Mocs had a 4-point lead at halftime, but held the Sailfish to just 12 total points in the second half en route to their victory. Here's what player of the game Kat Khomenko had to say following the win.
A 16-point effort for you tonight. What was working offensively?
We were just playing as a team. We needed to bounce back from the loss from Akron, but it was just like a team effort. Like all the points were literally just thanks to my teammates.
You had a 4-point lead at halftime. You end up really blowing this game out in the second half. What was said during the halftime break that kind of kicked it into gear for you guys?
We couldn't afford to play at their level, so we had to literally give our best effort, and that's what we did. We just needed to press the foot down and on the gas. So we just, we started off giving our best.
A great second half. How do you take that into Wednesday's matchup against Tampa?
It was definitely needed. Now we have more confidence, and we're ready for Tampa.
Thanks for the time. Congrats on the great game. Good luck on Wednesday.
On the men's side, the Mocs picked up an 81-79 win in their game against the Sailfish. Senior forward Jack Rauch scored his 1,000th career point early in the first half, becoming the 44th Moc to reach that milestone. Here's what he had to say following the game.
Jack, congratulations, 1,000 career points. What'd that feel like?
I mean, I knew it was coming. Everyone's been talking about it all week. It felt great. I'm more happy we got the dub tonight, to be honest with you.
Hard-fought game, pulled it out in the end. Kind of describe the atmosphere and how this matchup went.
We knew coming in they're a great team. I mean, they're 4-4 in the conference, but they're always a really good team every year. We knew this was going to be a tough challenge. We got to get better down the stretch there. You know, we knew they weren't going away. We got up 20, but we knew they weren't going away. So, like I said, I'm just glad we squeaked this one out.
You got a couple of days. You got Tampa coming up on Wednesday. What do you want to see the guys work on leading into that matchup?
Tampa's always a big rivalry game. They're a little bit down this year, but, it's always, it's in our conference. It's always going to be a good game. We need to get better at playing a full 40 minutes. That's about it.
Well, congrats on the milestone. Congrats on the big win. Good luck against Tampa. Thanks for the time, man.
Earlier in the week, Brett Hansen and Jalen Hinton were named to the Bevo Francis Award watch list, which recognizes the top non-Division I basketball players in the country at the end of the season. Now, Andrew, how big of an honor is it that Brett and Jalen were named to this list?
Well, it's awesome to have two players on that list. I think the Sunshine State Conference has 5 total players on the list this season. Last year, our Jonathan Lawton got to the top 25, so he was, getting close to that finalist spot. And it's just a really cool award to be recognized for. Brett's one of the most dynamic scorers in Division II, and then Jalen just picked up another SSC Defensive Player of the Year or Defensive Player of the Week award. He's leading the nation in blocks right now, so they're just two dynamic guys that I expect will make the top 50 and maybe the top 25, and we'll see beyond there on this list, provided that they stay healthy.
Absolutely, and talking about another member of this men's team, as we said earlier, Jack Rauch scored his 1,000th career point. What was the reaction like from the crowd during that moment?
Well, Jack started off the game on another planet scoring-wise. Made 4 threes early in the game. He had 15 points in the first half and got to that 1,000-point mark really early in the game, which is good. When you're sitting on a milestone and you're close to it, you don't want to be shooting and missing all game long. You want to get it over with, get it done with, so then you can move on and focus on the game, which is exactly what the Mocs did. The bench was incredibly loud. Everyone was jumping around for him. He's a senior leader on this team, and the guys were just overall very happy for him, and that's what you wanted to see.
And now let's talk about the games as a whole. It felt like both teams, it was kind of the tale of two very different halves. Can you run us through the dynamic of both of those games?
So we'll start off with the women's game. The first half was pretty even, 4-point difference, and then the second half was just an absolute blowout. They came out on another level defensively, just really limiting PBA that second half. The men's game was the exact opposite. They had a huge lead going into the half. They played out of their minds in the first half, especially from an offensive standpoint. Really cooled things off in the second half. Game ended up being down to the wire with just that 2-point win. So essentially, when we were doing the broadcast, Jim Henderson and I were talking about how it felt like we watched 4 different basketball games on Saturday. It wasn't 2 games. It was first half, second half, first half, second half, very distinctly split. It did feel like 4 different games. In the Tampa matchups tonight, the Mocs are going to have to play better, complete games if they want to come away with victories here tonight.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for those insights, Andrew. And our own Kenzie Council caught up with men's head coach Mike Donnelly after Saturday's game. Here's what he had to say.
Coach, your team has been steadily climbing up the top 25 rankings for the past few weeks. How have you continued to build throughout the season?
We have great leadership in the program. We have great players, and when you have great players with great leadership, good people, good things will happen. And this has been a work in progress. This is year 5 since I've been here, and we have a lot of 4-year guys who have been through the grind of it, and those guys have just embraced our culture, and give all the credit to them. I mean, they've done a terrific job to get us to this point where we are right now.
Next, you've got a conference matchup against Tampa. What are some keys to that game?
It's a rival game. Tampa won a big game tonight against Lynn, so they're coming in here. They'll be riding a kind of a high, so to speak. Tampa's always a tough game. We're 35 minutes away from them. Our big thing is just staying focused and being excited to play. Sometimes at this point of the year, it's 3rd week in January, and we're 15-2, 7-2 in the conference. You don't want guys getting too tired. You don't want guys feeling the pressure that they have to go out there and perform at a certain level. And there's a fine line because we're demanding a certain of excellence, but there can't be pressure involved. So we want them to be excited to play Tampa on Wednesday night in front of our crowd and get another big win.
Well, thank you for the time, and good luck against the Spartans.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Kenzie. In baseball news, the varsity squad was picked to finish 3rd in the Sunshine State Conference in the annual SSC preseason coaches poll, while softball was picked to finish 8th in their poll. The JV baseball team got things rolling on Sunday with a pair of wins against Advanced Prep Academy in their exhibition doubleheader, and will be back in action on Sunday as they take on APA for the final of their 3 exhibition games.
Monday marked the last day at Florida Southern for Director of Athletic Communications Ryan Bauer, who had been at FSC for the past 3.5 years. During his time here, Ryan had helped drastically improve our live stream quality for games and taken the department to the next level in many aspects. Most of our staff here at the Snakebite got their start in athletics working for Bauer, and his guidance has been really instrumental in helping me to run this show. So from all of us here at the Snakebite, thank you, boss, and good luck in North Carolina. That's all from us this week at the Snakebite. I'm Andrew Pauling.
And I'm George Connolly. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week at 3.